All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address inaugural session of Virtual India Mobile Congress 2020 today. Bharat Biotech applies for emergency use authorization for its indigenous corona vaccine. United Kingdom to become first country today to roll out COVID-19 vaccine. Centre asks all states and union territories to tighten security in view of Bharat Bandh call by farmer unions. Invest India wins United Nations Investment Promotion Award for 2020. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in the third and final T20 match in Sydney this afternoon. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will give the inaugural address at the Virtual India Mobile Congress 2020 today. The 3-day Congress is being organized by the Department of Telecommunications and the Cellular Operators Association of India. The theme for IMC 2020 is Inclusive Innovation, Smart, Secure, Sustainable. It aims to align to the Prime Minister's vision to promote Atmanirbhar Bharat, digital inclusivity and sustainable development, entrepreneurship and innovation. It also aims to drive foreign and local investments, encourage research and development in the telecom and emerging technology sectors. It will see the participation from various ministries, the telecom CEOs, global CEOs and domain experts in 5G and artificial intelligence among others. The Prime Minister had a telephonic conversation with French President Emmanuel Macron yesterday. The Prime Minister conveyed his condolences for the terror attacks in France and reiterated India's full support in the fight against terrorism, extremism and radicalism. The two leaders also discussed other bilateral, regional and global issues of mutual interest. These include improving the affordability and accessibility of COVID-19 vaccines, post-COVID economic recovery, cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region, maritime security, defense cooperation, digital economy and cybersecurity.
Bharat Biotech, developer of indigenous COVID-19 vaccine, Covaxin, has applied to the Central Drug Regulator, DCGI, seeking emergency use authorization for its vaccine. With this, the Hyderabad-based firm Bharat Biotech has become the third applicant after Serum Institute of India and Pfizer to apply for approval of emergency use of COVID-19 vaccine in the country. Covaxin is being indigenously developed by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, and is currently in phase 3 trials. The trials are being conducted at 18 sites across the country with over 22,000 volunteers. Pune-based Serum Institute, which is also the world's largest vaccine manufacturer, has applied for approval of Oxford COVID-19 vaccine Covishield, which has been co-developed by pharma company AstraZeneca and Oxford University. The move by the two vaccine developers comes close on the heels of Pfizer Inc. applying for a similar authorization of its coronavirus vaccine in India. Emergency use approval of a drug is granted after there is sufficient evidence to suggest that the medical product is safe and effective. Final approval is granted only after completion of the trials and analysis of full data. The firm has already secured emergency usage clearance in the UK and Bahrain. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said India is in the forefront of developing COVID-19 vaccines. Speaking at the DST-CII India-Portugal Technology Summit 2020, the minister said about 30 vaccines are in different stages of development in the country. Dr. Harshvardhan pointed out that 2 of them are in the most advanced stage of development, Covaxin developed through ICMR Bharat Biotech collaboration and Covishield from the Serum Institute of India. Both are in the phase 3 clinical trial stage. He added that the Indian Council of Medical Research is involved in their trial executions.
Zydus Cadila is also conducting phase 2 trial of an indigenous DNA vaccine. One of our pharma giants, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, will distribute the Russian vaccine in India after conducting final stage human trials and receiving regulatory approval.
The United Kingdom will become the first country today to roll out the COVID-19 vaccine. As per the government, initially the shots will be available at hospitals before being distributed to doctors' clinics. Britain gave emergency use approval for the vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech last week. In a statement last week, Health Secretary Matt Hancock said that the government is doing everything to make sure to overcome significant challenges to vaccinate care home residents. National Health Service is giving top priority to vaccinating those above 80 years, frontline healthcare workers, and care home staff and residents. In total, Britain has ordered 4 crore doses. About 8 lakh doses are expected to be available within the first week. India crossed another significant milestone in its fight against COVID as the number of active COVID-19 cases in the country declined to less than 4 lakh after 140 days. With a continuous reduction in the number of active corona cases, the active caseload in the country stands at merely 4.1% with nearly 3,96,000 active cases. The national cumulative recovery rate has also improved to 94.45% with recovery of nearly 91,40,000 people so far. The number of daily recoveries once again outnumbered the new daily cases for the 10th consecutive day yesterday. The total recovered cases in the country stands at around 23 times the number of active cases. The new daily positive cases also remained below the 50,000 mark for the 30th consecutive day yesterday. In the 24-hour period, 32,981 new confirmed cases were reported, while 39,109 people recovered in the same time span. The Health Ministry informed that 391 case fatalities were reported in 24-hour period.
In Delhi, the recovery rate of COVID patients stands at 94.57%. The city recorded recovery of 3,818 patients in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of recovered patients to 5,61,732. A total of 1,674 new confirmed cases were reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total to 5,93,924. The Delhi government confirmed that 63 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, taking the total to 9,706. The total number of active corona cases in the city now stands at 22,486. In Bihar, COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 97.31%. This is 2.86% more than the national average. The number of active cases in the state is continuously declining. Currently, 5,150 patients are undergoing treatment at various hospitals. Maximum 1,930 patients are undergoing treatment in Patna. In all, 679 patients recovered in the last 24 hours, while 439 new cases were reported. Over 2,33,117 patients have so far recovered from the infection in the state. Over 1,10,000 corona tests were carried out during the past 24 hours. Over 1 crore 55 lakh corona tests have been conducted in the state so far.
Maharashtra has reported 3,075 new cases of coronavirus infection, taking its total caseload to 18,55,341. The Health Department has said 7,345 patients were discharged yesterday, taking the total number of recoveries to 17,30,715. The death toll increased by 40 to 47,774. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
In Maharashtra, COVID-19 patients' recovery rate stands at 93.28%, while the case fatality rate stands at 2.57%. Maharashtra has conducted 1.13 crore tests so far and the positivity rate stands at 16.39%. Currently, 5,55,180 people are in home quarantine and 5,565 people are in institutional quarantine. In Mumbai, the number of COVID-19 cases is steadily declining as the city has reported less than 1,000 cases per day for more than a week. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Chhattisgarh, the rates of various tests for COVID-19 have been reduced. The new rates will be applicable in all private hospitals and pathology centers with immediate effect. An order has been issued by the State Health Department in this regard. More from our Chhattisgarh correspondent.
The Health Department of Chhattisgarh has reduced the rate of various tests for identification of corona-infected patients. Earlier, RT-PCR test costed 1,600 rupees, while it has now been reduced to 750 rupees. Similarly, for the rapid antigen test, the rate has been slashed to only 400 rupees. Besides, the price of TrueNat test has also been reduced to 1,500 rupees. If the sample collection for the test is done from the patient's home, then an additional amount of 200 rupees will be charged. The new rates released by the state government for COVID testing include sample collection, transportation, testing as well as PPE kit charges. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
Talking to All India Radio News, health expert Dr. Ghanshyam Pangte from the Lady Hardinge Medical College, New Delhi said that the vaccine will be provided on priority basis. First, it will be provided to medical staff and frontline workers and then to senior citizens.
लोग हैं जो कि कोरोना वॉरियर्स हैं, डॉक्टर्स हो गए, हेल्थ केयर वर्कर्स हो गए, या जो समाज सेवा में जो कि कोरोना कंटेनमेंट जोन में पुलिस वाले, इन सबको वैक्सीन का पहला हक मिलेगा जो सरकार ने कहा है। दूसरा, सरकार ने जो एक ग्रुप चुना है उसमें एल्डरली लोग जैसे कि 65 साल से ऊपर, उन लोगों को वैक्सीन मिलेगी क्योंकि उनमें ये कोरोना खतरनाक ज्यादा हो सकता है, उन लोगों को ज्यादा क्रिटिकल कर सकता है, उनकी जान को भी खतरा रह सकता है। या उन लोगों के साथ जिनको कोमॉर्बिडिटी है, जिनको हार्ट की बीमारी है, जिनको फेफड़े की बीमारी है, उन लोगों को पहले मिलेगा। बट मैं फिर भी ये कहना चाहूंगा कि उन लोगों को मिलने के बाद वो फ्री नहीं होंगे, उनको मास्क और सब चीज पहनना पड़ेगा।
World Health Organization has appointed Indian origin Anil Soni as the Chief Executive Officer for the WHO Foundation. Global health expert Soni will assume his role as its inaugural CEO on January 1st next year. In his new role, Soni will accelerate the foundation's work to invest in innovative, evidence-based initiatives that support WHO in delivering on its mission to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all, the WHO Foundation stated.
The News Services Division of All India Radio brings glimpses of the year that was in our special series, Year-Ender 2020. COVID-19 pandemic has been the biggest story of the year, and India has seen a fight back against the disease under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. When the unprecedented corona pandemic engulfed the world, it threw a challenge not only to medical science, but also to humanity as a whole. While science got busy in the twin task of curing the patients with whatever information available about the virus, humanity was forced to take care of itself with minor aberrations. And then the term Corona Warriors came about. Here is more from our correspondent.
1,58,96,093. This is the number of Corona warriors in India who did their best to help the 130 crore Indians in their struggle against the pandemic. Apart from doctors, they include nurses, ward boys, lab staff, ambulance drivers, sanitation workers, and last but not the least, those who performed the last rites of the dead. Even early phase of social stigma for some of these COVID warriors didn't deter them from their duties towards the humanity. The civil defense volunteers and home guards ensured that those in isolation don't go without food or medicine. The police became humane, showing its different face by helping the people in need. The neighborhood grocery shop owner continued to serve the localities. The pandemic story is not just limited to them. It is also about school teachers who took risk and went out to distribute ration to the poor across the country. Asha and Anganwadi workers, panchayats were also out to serve the people in need. Then there were lakhs of other Samaritans who on their own went out looking for the hungry and needy to help. A grateful nation led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to these Corona warriors in his address to the nation on Independence Day.
इस कोरोना के कालखंड में लक्षावधि कोरोना वॉरियर्स, चाहे डॉक्टर हो, नर्सिस हो, सफाई कर्मी हो, एम्बुलेंस चलाने वाले लोग हो, उन लोगों ने इतने लंबे समय तक जिस प्रकार से सेवा परमो धर्मः इस मंत्र को जी करके दिखाया है, ऐसे सभी कोरोना वॉरियर्स को मैं नमन करता हूं.
Nilima Sharad Shingde, senior nursing supervisor at AIIMS New Delhi, says she could not even hug her kids when she returned home from duty.
When we came home after duty from hospital, we could not even hug our kids. We isolated ourselves and next day again leave for duty. The pandemic demanded that we sacrifice those emotions. This is the demand of this profession.
Words don't do justice to the virus. It is not a simple virus that afflicts and then disappears. This one is different. It has brought the world to its feet, but it has also brought humanity together. Naseem Naqvi, AIR News, New Delhi.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address inaugural session of Virtual India Mobile Congress 2020 today. Bharat Biotech applies for emergency use authorization for its indigenous corona vaccine. United Kingdom to become first country today to roll out COVID-19 vaccine. Centre asks all states and union territories to tighten security in view of Bharat Bandh call by farmer unions. Invest India wins United Nations Investment Promotion Award for 2020. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in the third and final T20 match in Sydney this afternoon. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The Centre has asked all states and union territories to tighten security in view of the call given by farmer unions to observe Bharat Bandh today. The farmer unions, protesting against the new farm laws at the borders of the national capital, have called for a nationwide strike between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. today. Delhi Traffic Police has informed that borders along Singhu, Ochandi, Piau Maniari and Mangesh will remain closed, while NH 44 has been closed on both sides. The Chilla border on Noida Link Road is closed from Noida to Delhi, while the Ghazipur border on NH 24 is closed for traffic from Ghaziabad to Delhi. Delhi Traffic Police has asked commuters to avoid Outer Ring Road and GT Karnal Road. Traders Body Confederation of All India Traders and the All India Transporters Welfare Association have asked that the markets across the country, including the national capital, will remain open today and transport services will also remain operative. Issuing a joint statement, CAIT and AITWA said traders and transporters will not be participating in the Bharat Bandh. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has directed the administration and police officers to make adequate arrangements and ensure that the common people do not face any inconvenience during the Bharat Bandh. He said that the central and state governments are constantly working for the welfare of farmers. Yogi Adityanath came down heavily on opposition parties for spoiling the atmosphere under the pretext of farm laws. He said the stand of some political parties on farm laws shows their double standard. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath called a late-night meeting with senior officers of all districts over Bharat Bandh today. He directed that officers should communicate with farmer organizations and representatives at the local level and make them aware of the provisions of new agriculture laws and solve their problems. In no case should law and order be compromised. Meanwhile, prohibitory orders are already claimed in many districts of Uttar Pradesh to stop COVID spread and prevent gathering and holding of congregations. Yesterday, Section 144 imposed in rural areas of Lucknow district also in view of the proposed Bharat Bandh. On the other hand, at many places, traders have refused to take part in the Bandh. Police have also done all arrangements in view of the Bandh today. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Air India has said that for passengers who are unable to reach the airport due to possible disturbance today, no show charges will be waived and one free day change allowed for those with confirmed tickets from any Indian airport. It has requested passengers to keep sufficient time in hand for their journey to the airport. Senior BJP leader Ravi Shankar Prasad has said that Congress and other non-BJP parties join any protest in the country for the sake of opposing government's move. Mr. Prasad said the Congress party had clearly mentioned about amending the farm laws in their 2019 election manifesto. He said protests just in order to score political mileage by the Congress, NCP, Samajwadi Party and other opposition parties expose their duplicity and double standards. Mr. Prasad said NCP leader Sharad Pawar advocated for amendment in farm laws in the year 2005 and is opposing the reforms today only to settle political scores.
Their entire approach is of shameful double standards. They are seeking to confuse based upon wrong facts. और दूसरी बात, जो काम आपने करने की कोशिश की, जो आपने पूरा नहीं किया, जिसको आप सही मानते थे, आज व्यापक चर्चा के बाद हम उसको आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं तो आप विरोध कर रहे हैं, सिर्फ अपना राजनीतिक अस्तित्व बचाने के लिए। हम उनके इन पूरी धारणा का पूरा विरोध करते हैं, उसकी भर्त्सना करते हैं और देश का किसान सच्चाई को समझता है।
Farmers have welcomed the implementation of new farm laws as they have resulted in raising their income and liberating them from the clutches of middlemen. Kamal Patel of Badhawa village in Dewas district of Madhya Pradesh has said that the new farm law has helped him sell his produce to private companies which gave better price.
मैं कमल पटेल, ग्राम बधावा, तहसील सतवास, जिला देवास, मध्य प्रदेश। नए बिल आने के कारण अच्छी मदद मिली है, किसानों के लिए ये मददगार बिल है और इसके कारण दाम भी अच्छे ऊंचे मिल रहे हैं और अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही यहाँ ITC का हब खुला है।
Shiv Charan Singh of district Muktsar in Punjab says the new farm acts are historic and will bring reforms. He said the acts will take Punjab to new heights.
मैं शिवचरण ਸਿੰਘ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਡਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਮੁਕਤਸਰ ਸਟੇਟ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਲੋਂਗ ਕਰਦਾ। ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸਾਨੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਨਮ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਿੱਲ ਹੈ ਬੜੇ ਹਿਸਟੋਰੀਕਲ ਬਿੱਲਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਬੜੇ ਗੇਮ ਚੇਂਜਰ ਆ, ਬੜੇ ਰਿਫਾਰਮਸ ਵਾਲੇ ਬਿੱਲ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੀਂ ਉਚਾਈ ਤੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਨਟਸ਼ੈਲ ਇਨ ਸ਼ਾਰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਾਂਗਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹਿਸਟੋਰੀਕਲ ਰਿਫਾਰਮ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਸ ਨਾਲ ਐਗਰੀਕਲਚਰ ਫੀਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੇਟੈਸਟ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਆਊਗੀ।
The 8-member interministerial central team deputed to evaluate the damages caused by the cyclone Nivar in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry has completed its field visit. The team led by Joint Secretary in the Home Ministry, Ashutosh Agnihotri, are scheduled to meet the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, Edappadi Palanisamy, at the Secretariat at Fort St. George in Chennai today. More from our Chennai correspondent.
The central team members completed their field visits yesterday. They will be having a debriefing interaction with the higher officials in Chennai this morning and a meeting with the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi Palanisamy before winding up their evaluation tour. Meanwhile, the other cyclone Burevi that came close to the coast in Ramanathapuram on December 2nd became stationary and then dissipated without reaching the shores. However, the torrential rain it caused has damaged tens of thousands of acres of paddy fields, especially in Kadalur and Tanjavur districts. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
In Kerala, the first phase of local body elections has begun. Voting in Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Pathanamthitta, Alappuzha and Idukki districts began at 7 in the morning and will continue till 6 p.m. A total of 24,584 candidates are in the fray for 6,813 wards in this phase. Poll is likely to witness a triangular contest between CPM-led LDF, Congress-led UDF and BJP-led NDA.
In Andhra Pradesh, 480 people have fallen sick and admitted to hospital following a mysterious disease in Eluru city. More than 178 patients have been discharged from hospitals and returned home after recovery. The condition of others are stable. Central teams and medical experts are visiting the affected areas in Eluru. More details on this from our Andhra Pradesh correspondent.
The Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy visited Eluru in West Godavari district yesterday to have a first-hand knowledge of the mysterious disease. After the consultation with the victims, CM conducted a review meeting with the authorities at the Jilla Parishad Conference Hall at Eluru. He directed the authorities to monitor the treatment thoroughly they are receiving. The senior officials of the Medical Health Department, on the orders of the CM, are also conducting consultations in Eluru and conducting various tests on the cause leading to the illness. The samples have been sent for final result. Emergency care centers have been started at ward sachivalayams and extending primary treatment there, and if required, they will be sent to government hospital at district headquarters, Eluru. Medical camps have been continuing in the affected colonies, and all the medical support has been intensively extended to the Eluru district center. Dr. G. Kondalrao, AIR News, Vijayawada.
United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, has declared Invest India as winner of the 2020 United Nations Investment Promotion Award. The award ceremony took place at UNCTAD headquarters in Geneva yesterday. The award recognizes and celebrates the outstanding achievements of the world's best practice investment promotion agencies. The evaluation was based on UNCTAD's assessment of work undertaken by 180 national investment promotion agencies across the world.
The United States has slapped financial sanctions and travel ban against 14 Chinese officials for undermining the autonomy of Hong Kong. According to the U.S. State Department, the sanctions were imposed against members of the Chinese Parliament Standing Committee and their immediate members for traveling to the United States. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar has said that the central government has been taking all steps possible to combat air pollution in Delhi and North India and is working towards deploying all possible technological interventions towards that. Mr. Javadekar was speaking at the 4th Roundtable consultation on cleaning the air, driving central and state level actions.
In cricket, India will take on hosts Australia in the third and final 2020 match in Sydney today. The match will begin at 1:40 p.m. The men in blue have already clinched the series 2-0. The ball-by-ball commentary of today's match will be broadcast on FM Rainbow, Rajdhani, PBU Tube and other channels from 1:15 p.m. till the end of the match.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital is expected to witness very dense fog today. The minimum temperature was 11 degrees Celsius. The maximum will be around 27 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, sky will be mainly clear. The minimum temperature in the metropolis was 18 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 35 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The temperature will hover between 22 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is also expected to have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky. Later, the temperature will vary between 18 and 29 degrees Celsius. On to the north in Srinagar, generally cloudy sky with moderate rain is expected today. The minimum temperature was 0 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 3 degrees. In Jammu, the lower level of temperature was 12 degrees Celsius, while the upper level will be around 20 degrees. Leh may also witness rain or snow today. The minimum temperature dipped to -4 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 2 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Active COVID count falls below 4 lakh after 140 days, reports the Statesman. New cases at 3-month low in Delhi, writes the Hindu. India to examine full dose data at Oxford vaccine, reads Hindustan Times headline. Bharat Biotech also applies for emergency nod, writes the paper. The Indian Express writes, first details of immunization emerge. Shots in batches of 100 people, 30 minutes each. Centre rushes 3-member team to Eluru in wake of mystery disease, is the headline in the Statesman. Pay anomalies in armed forces to go, as per the order of the Department of Military Affairs, writes the Tribune. And finally, Anju Bobby George, the only Indian to win a medal at a World Athletics meet, revealed that she competed all through her career with just one kidney, reports the Times of India.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address inaugural session of Virtual India Mobile Congress 2020 today. Bharat Biotech applies for emergency use authorizations for its indigenous corona vaccine. United Kingdom to become first country today to roll out COVID-19 vaccine. Centre asks all states and union territories to tighten security in view of Bharat Bandh call by farmer unions. Invest India wins United Nations Investment Promotion Award for 2020. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in the third and final T20 match in Sydney this afternoon. And with this, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.